As you may have noticed, there's a lot of people talking about fat. There's low-fat diets, high-fat diets, full-fat dairy versus non-fat dairy, and the infamous keto diet. Fat is kind of like the scandalous celebrity of nutrition media right now. It's on a lot of people's minds these days, but the question is, should it be on our plates? And if so, what kinds and how much?
So before we give you the lowdown on lipids, first, what is fat and why do we need it? Fat is important for building cell membranes and the phospholipid bilayer, sheaths surrounding nerves, and it's essential for blood clotting, vitamin absorption, muscle movement, and inflammation.
So here we have a saturated fatty acid where every one of the carbon's 4 bonds are filled up, which is why it's linear. So saturated fats are able to crowd a lot closer together and tend to be solid at room temperature.
Here is an unsaturated fatty acid. As you can see, there are several carbons that are double bonded to one another. Unsaturated fats tend to be liquid at room temperature, but not always. And research has indicated that unsaturated fats in the diet may have anti-inflammatory properties and lower our risk of heart disease and stroke.
Now we have trans fat, so they can be present naturally in some meat and dairy products since they are produced in the gut of ruminants. They can also be produced through frying and other heating processes. And then we have artificially made trans fats, which occur when liquid vegetable oils are made solid by the hydrogenation process. A lot of times on labels it won't designate if it's naturally produced or artificially produced, and there's some research saying that naturally might be a little bit more beneficial, but since there is no designation on the labels, it's generally recommended to avoid them.
Here are some omega-3 and omega-6 examples. They are polyunsaturated fatty acids, which contain more than one double bond. The designation of the number indicates where the bond is located in the structure. The average American diet currently has an omega-3 to omega-6 ratio of 1 to 14. To reap the most benefits for health, the ideal ratio is 1 to 4. Following the Mediterranean diet can be a great way to consume a more balanced ratio of omega-3 fatty acids.
So as you can see, foods tend to have a mix of different types of fatty acids, so it's hard to classify certain foods as good or bad, and we can consider them holistically as all parts of a balanced diet.
So now let's get into the fats and how they fit into the Mediterranean diet. Overall, the Mediterranean diet does consist of about 45% of calories from fats, which are predominantly mono and polyunsaturated fats. Let's look at some sources of each type of fat found in the Mediterranean diet.
Here we have some monounsaturated fatty acids, or MUFAs. So they have been linked to brain health, so they can help prevent cognitive decline and lower one's risk for developing Alzheimer's and dementia later in life.
And here are some omega-3 food sources. Seafoods and algae tend to be higher in DHA and EPA, whereas nuts and seeds like canola oil, walnut, flax seeds tend to be higher in ALA. Omega-3s have been linked to slowing the progression of plaque buildup, reducing inflammation, and having a favorable effect on blood lipid profiles.
So saturated fatty acids sometimes get a bad rap, but they're definitely still a part of the Mediterranean diet. So yogurts and cheeses are going to be your main sources, and to a lesser extent meats. Even dark chocolate is found to have quite a bit of saturated fat, but it tends to be more stearic acid, which does have like a favorable effect on blood lipids.
And trans fats are not a main source of fats in the Mediterranean diet. Overall, they should be limited because they have been linked to plaque buildup, atherosclerosis, and CVD.
So we hope this helped clear up some of the confusion around fat. Fat is an essential nutrient for satiety and good health overall, so get in your MUFAs, PUFAs, and omegas to enjoy all the benefits of a Mediterranean diet.